This is a bit of a head-scratcher, isn't it?
Well, Jesse Marsch, he had trouble in Leipzig. There were some personal issues as well that we don't know about. But we just saw that coming after Nagelsmann, that job was too big for him. Now he's coming after Bielsa, who is very, very popular in Leeds, of course. But, I mean, the worst organizer of defense since, well, time started to count in life. Because, I mean, have they played lately? And, I mean, we can speak about the hipster Bielsa and great managers, but you can't keep on conceding so much goals. So Jesse Marsch is bright enough to understand that his main thing now has to stop them conceding goals. And Jesse Marsch got that kind of thing to get the team going, unite together, and so on and so on. So there he will be good, but he has to stop conceding goals.
If I understand the allure of going in and taking over a Premier League side and guiding them to safety, I wouldn't touch this if I was...
Apparently it's continuity, and that's how they do it in Germany. I've heard, and I didn't know Jesse Marsch was German, but I know he's been there for a short spell. I think going in working with younger players, want to play a higher tempo type of game, similar to Bielsa. But what's the continuity, apart from the fact it's a shambles? Now, good luck to him. He's going to need it. But one of the big problems is he's still missing two of their best players, Patrick Bamford, and more importantly, Calvin Phillips, out the engine room. They've got injuries as well. They've had to throw in youngsters this season. I mean, I think they can stay up because there are so many poor teams down there.
Yeah.
So in some sense, I think for him it's worth the risk if he can pull it off.
Right.
Because he maybe looked at the rest down and went, I've just seen Burnley today.
I know, but
have a look
if
at
you don't pull it off, you go down with Leeds. You know, you didn't have the impact at Leipzig that you had. You take Leeds down. It's tough.
Yeah, but I get it. But he ain't getting another job in the Premier League anywhere.
Right.
So this was an offer. Huh?
No, I'm just saying that he could have maybe got him in the summer. I think that was the plan, that Jesse Marsch should take over Leeds in the summer. So that is a gamble for him now, because if another manager will come in and save them and so on and so on. And I agree with you on that thing. The thing is to come in now with a manager who doesn't know the Premier League 100%. He doesn't know the team 100%. He doesn't have the preseason. This is a tough one for him because he's going straight into it.
And it's unique, isn't it, Don? You've been involved in these relegation scraps.
Absolutely. He's got to hit the ground running. To be fair, I listened to his interview today, Dan, and it was quite impressive. He was talking about Bielsa's way and how much he's not going to try and change it too much. He likes them when they go forward, but he's going to try and address things at the back. He's going to have a little bit more structure. So he's very complimentary of Bielsa's methods and the Leeds players. But like Craig said, you add Liam Cooper to that as well, who's been magnificent for them, and yet the spine of the side's been ripped out of this Leeds team. This is tough for Jesse Marsch. This is a real tough one. I totally agree with Craig. I don't think anyone else in the Premier League would have touched him. But if you're Jesse Marsch, it's worth taking the job because you back yourself. You always back your own ability. You look at the size of the club that Leeds are, and you'll think, well, maybe Brentford are in free fall. There's probably two clubs that are probably nailed on to go down, and that's Watford and Norwich. So there's sort of one spot you're fighting for with about 4 or 5 teams. So he'll fancy his chances. I know it was about time Bielsa sort of went. I tried to back him as much as possible, but it was sort of inevitable that he was going to go down when you're losing 4, 5 and 6s every week, and he was stubborn. He was never going to change his ways. I think the change had to happen.
He's going to find pressure like he's never found before. You manage in Major League Soccer here, they don't have relegation. You can be as bad as you want. You can suck every week, it makes no difference. He went to Salzburg in Austria. They're not going to get relegated. He went to Leipzig. There is a pressure, of course. But it's a different pressure, as Don said. I think we've all been there, Jan, Don and myself, at various points in our careers. Fighting for your life in the Premier League is way tougher than being at the top. And I've said this to you before. Because you look around that dressing room and you think, right, who's with me and who's not? Who wants to get out the treatment room? Who doesn't? Obviously, some can. But you look at some players and you think, yeah, right enough. Freaking, you could play. You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. And it can be a horrible atmosphere. Then you get whipped and you look at this schedule. God, Wednesday, Man City away. Oh, no, you know. And it's sleepless nights because, you know, you go to that championship and, you know, you look at like Burley, you look at Nottingham Forest, you look at Leeds. I think 16 years it was out of the top flight. I mean, it's a generation. So a lot of pressure, and he's going to have to hit the ground running like nobody's business. And
because Bielsa, Craig, was loved so much as well, he's under that extra pressure to do well. If he gets a couple of bad results, they'll be saying, you shouldn't have sacked Bielsa. We were better off with him.
I say he will stay up.
I think I read today it wasn't just about the football. It wasn't just about the results, and it wasn't just about the football per se, but Bielsa just... I mean, literally, they could have got beat 6-0 for the next 4 games with him in charge, and none of the fans are getting on his back. He won the hearts of the Leeds public, right? And nothing else really mattered to them. Yeah, they wanted results. So he's following in somebody who was, you know, whether you agree and think are a Bielsa fan or not, was beloved by Leeds fans. They played some great stuff, but they were too much of a shambles in the end. So good luck to Jesse Marsch, but the pressure down the bottom, Daniel, is every day, every night, and it does not go away unless you're getting clearly results.
And the problem is, of course, as pundits like Don, he will always say Big Sam, and then he will forget that Big Sam got relegated last season. But this guy is an American, and this guy is an American. So when he loses one game,
that was 15 shows ago. Yeah,
what a memory!
15
like
shows ago.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.